Football agents have been around for years, and in short, the agent's role is to act as a legal representative for their players and in a way, look after every aspect of the player's career so they can focus on playing football. Now this means the agents usually negotiate contracts and transfers with clubs and take care of endorsement deals and PR for their players. And in return, the agents of course get a commission or a fee for their services. But the question is, do you actually need an agent if you're looking to become a pro?
That's exactly what we're here to discuss today. Obviously, it's Q&A, episode 26. We have many topics amongst the one you're thinking of right now. But before we get into that, we're gonna jump into football! Is Conte's fitness level achievable or is it just pure genetics? Guy literally wins possession by himself.
A lot of it is probably genetic. But I think that it's also about, working tirelessly for years and years and years and, focusing on that part of his game.
The very little I know about human body mechanics and so on, some people have more fast muscle fibers.
Exactly, yes.
Some people have these slower ones. Think of Usain Bolt versus marathon runners. Conte is definitely more into the marathon runners theme, but he's also pretty rapid.
He is pretty quick.
Answer to the question is, you can achieve anything if you go out and run and do whatever you gotta do, but it also helps if you have good genetics. For Conte, we don't know. One day, maybe we're gonna meet him. Maybe we get to ask.
Get to ask him.
That's it.
Soham Gurav, what's the most important thing for a winger? And what skills should he prefer?
Well, obviously, let's think the role of a winger.
Yes.
Like, you are an attacking player, so you need to be comfortable with the ball and you need to be comfortable taking on defenders.
Yes,
you also need to be good at crossing the ball to the box, depending obviously on the playing style, what your coach wants from your winger, blah, to the blah.
Yeah. Obviously, as a winger, it's always a good thing to be kind of fast. I mean, you can be a winger and be slow. We've seen that before. I would prefer, personally, if a winger has some sort of pace to it.
In the future, which pro footballer do you like to visit and have a day with?
Romelu Lukaku. Because he looks like a guy who has a lot of fun.
And he wore your boots.
And he wore my boots. I really want to meet Romelu Lukaku. He looks like a guy who has a lot of fun, and then I casually wanted to slide in. Yeah, you've met him.
Yeah. He's a
I casually wanted to slide in the question about the boots. And like,
Oh man, by the way, I was the guy, you wore the boots and then you missed against Spurs and
I'm gonna manifest this thought into the universe. I only have one player left on my bucket list. That is Sir David Beckham.
David Beckham.
That's it. Like, after that, I'm
So we can count legends. I can also say the day I meet David Beckham, I'm done. I can retire. I can stop doing YouTube. It's like, that is the goal. My question is, do you prefer fake grass or real one? I think the fake one can be very painful sometimes, and I think here Chris is talking about firm ground versus artificial ground. Yeah.
In very generic terms, as I always say, I always speak in generic terms. I always talk in generic terms. I prefer artificial grass because you know what you're gonna get. I'm very comfortable playing on artificial. However, if you get to play on an absolutely pristine grass, like we did a couple weeks back
in Real Madrid.
Oh, look, man, yo, look. I have played football for over 20 years. It's not many times I have played on a better grass than that one.
It was the sharpest, bouncy, the most perfectly cut, even grass pitch I have ever been on. The perfect roll of the ball, the perfect bounce. It was everything you wanted to be, and in that instance, I would go with natural grass over artificial.
Same.
Every day of the
week. But usually when you are guys like us who don't play for Real Madrid, unfortunately many times the grass is not that great. Like, I will tell you right now that I never hate playing football, but I really don't enjoy playing on a grass that's too long for my liking.
But now, we move on to the realist of the talk. The realist, man.
That was the most on-street credit statement I've ever heard in my life.
Listen, man, I'm just trying to keep it G, yo.
And because of oh my lord. And because of that, I'm gonna jump right into the hot topic of the day. Do you really need an agent to go pro?
I want to say no, because that would be the thing that everyone wants to hear. But to be honest, I think that if you're really serious and you want to have the biggest chance of making it pro, yes, I definitely think you need an agent. Can you make it without an agent? Sure. It is very, very unlikely though.
One important thing for the kids to understand is, what does an agent actually do? Like an agent. We're not talking about a scout here. What a good agent will do for you is help you, for example, during the off season to find you a new contract so you have a job next year.
Exactly. Well,
and
he will
unless you're willing and able to do that yourself, an agent is definitely gonna take that worry at least a little bit away from you and do that work for you.
They will also know people within the business. They will know openings at clubs. They will know what clubs are looking for. And unless you really have an insight and know the right people, it's going to be really difficult to get the same amount of, say, a finger on the pulse sensation of knowing who to speak to and where to look.
The very little I know about agents, especially if you are like a, young nobody and you're looking to get an agent, there are tons of fishy people out there. So if you ever plan, you meet some guy who comes to you and sells you this dream, I would not do anything before at least consulting somebody else. Maybe you know a player or you talk with a coach who can point the finger and say, this guy is legit.
In short, no, you don't need an agent to make it, but I think it's a good way to go. We have a player on our team that never is passing the ball. How can I say that to him in a kind way?
Just say it.
Yes. Honestly, I know what you mean. I know maybe he's one of those players that has a big temper and, he loses his cool very easily, and he might be the best player in the team. That's why he keeps the ball a lot. And that's a lesson for life here, kids. If you feel something and you don't say it, nothing's gonna change. So if you feel something can improve, you have to tell whoever does what you think is wrong or could be improved. You have to tell them in a nice way. Don't go over to him and say,
oh, you're the worst guy in the world, I hate you. You need to let go of the ball more. You need to pass the ball to the teammates.
Just sit him down and say, look.
I feel that you can let go more of the ball. A lot of the guys feel the same way. It would be for the better of the team. We know you're very good in this and this and that, but look at it from our perspective.
Be cool about it. Tell him in a nice, friendly way, and I'm sure he'll understand. If he doesn't, he's not worth your time.
Tell him he's a Yeah, I said it. What was your first ever football jersey?
It was Manchester United 1997-1998 shirt. And I still have it somewhere at home. It's really tiny.
That's what she said!
It was the season I became a Man United fan. So I hold it very dearly.
Cool story, bro.
What about you?
Mine is actually Paolo Maldini.
Really?
Yeah.
Ledge.
I was at a family vacation in Italy. Oh, very young, very young.
So let's move on to the boot bag. Now I have the first question. Is Copa 19 Plus, this fella right here, one of the best football boots created this year? If so, which is the better boot than Copa 19 Plus launched this year? And that's a very good question.
First of all, I want to start off by saying what a phenomenal boot this is based on the first impression.
I love the fit. The leather is just some of the best leather I've ever seen on a football boot, including all the limited edition boots. And I would put this as highly as my top 5 best boots I've ever worn. With the other boot that came out in November, the Mizuno Wave Cup Legend, which is also a fantastic boot. And then of course, another boot that came out this year I really appreciate a lot, the new Mercurials.
What is your favorite stud pattern of all time?
My favorite stud pattern of all time, and that's a very, very, very good question. I'm gonna bring this, because this is actually one of my new favorite stud patterns, because it is a little bit more aggressive in every direction, rather than just being really aggressive when you dig into the ground and accelerate. This has much of the same sensation of being really aggressive, but a little bit more when you also change direction. And then of course there's also the Messi Gamba tracks, which is Messi's special outsole for me, which has one of the best balances I've ever tried in a football boot. How much space should we leave at the end of our football boots? And it's a really good question. We've actually made a video on how to find the right size, but it's something that people have been asking about for a while. And I think it's when you're out there with your parents and you're buying boots, they always say, oh, you should leave a thumb's length at the end of the boot so you can grow in it. And of course, it depends on how often you can get new football boots. I would also try and say, leave maximum half a thumb's length. Because if you leave a full thumb, that's a lot of space and the boots are gonna feel really, really chunky on you. If your feet are done growing like mine sadly are, I would always go so there's only like a couple of millimeters, you know, between my boot and the foot. So I really like to fill out my boots.
You know how
I know how you look.
Look, man, back in the days, I bought boots that were too small for me. When I went to the shop in Finland to try on different boots, if they felt tight and uncomfortably small,
they were perfect.
I was like, yep, this is perfect.
But you don't do that anymore, right?
No. Nowadays I don't do it because you know we're just playing this YouTube football, so I like to just chill and relax and have fun. If your feet are still growing, just go with what your parents are getting you, because you know when you are able to start buying your own boots, you can make your own decisions.
Yes.
Before that, just say please and thank you.
Yeah. And with that, we move on to the next section,
which is
giveaway! And I have the perfect question for the giveaway, where they can win a pair of these.
Your dirty socks?
Obviously new Falke socks. But the question goes, are Nike grip socks and Falke and PST getting enough attention as they should? And with that, I think you mean are the grip socks, the Nike grip, the Falke socks, and then of course the PST, which is an accessory, getting as much attention as they should. For me, I don't know what you say here, for me grip socks aren't getting enough attention. Will grip socks make you faster? No. Will they make you feel like you're really in touch with your boot? Give you a nice, good fit where your foot is not moving around? Absolutely. For me, this is one of the first things that I make sure I pack in my bag every time I go. Towel, boots, shin pads, fresh pair of boxes, and the socks.
That's all useless.
You know, you just get a really high quality premium feeling sock that will give you a good fit in the boot, that you're not gonna slide around, which is annoying, and you're not gonna get blisters and all that stuff. So I think, yeah, definitely underrated, and you're gonna try it out for yourself, because we're gonna send you a pair of Falke socks that are the best grip socks out there. And now we move on to the question of the month.
Why do you think it is that the big brands tend to release similar colorways at the same time?
See, that is funny, because what happens is that usually they have these trend agencies that go in and say, look, what is hot in this particular season where we want to release a boot? Sometimes apparently brands have the same hype agencies.
In case some of you guys are not aware of the following facts, the brands are years ahead in planning.
Yes, but that's the thing.
They planned that two years ago.
Yeah, but I think it's gotten better over the years. Yes. I mean, back in 2012, it was completely ridiculous. We had the Laser 3 and the Addy Power in the very same color scheme, coming out more or less at the same time.
Some agency was making
bank.
Look, man, they were crushing it. They were like, you know what? We just sell the same slides to Nike and Adidas.
And at this point, our microphones unfortunately stopped working. But you know the drill. Leave us tons of questions in the comments below that we can answer in the next Q&A. And if you want to see more stuff from us, hit that subscribe button to join the family. That's it for today. See you next time.